it's just understand that you're gonna have to, if I'm not going to college, if I'm not getting anything placed on my lap, man, I gotta get in the mud, I gotta build something.
All right, welcome everyone to episode 23 of the American Dream podcast. This week we have Michael with a handful of businesses. He's got Lake Maid Cleaning. He's got some real estate development and a boxing gym as well. Sounds like potentially a fourth business on the way here by the end of the year. We'll kind of turn it over to Michael here. You can kind of go ahead and jump in and say, how you got into being an entrepreneur and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so my name is Michael Williams. I think you guys might have kind of caught noticing me through TikTok, is what I think.
Yep.
So I'm on TikTok at 651 Michael, Instagram, Twitter, everything is 651 Michael. Got into entrepreneurship through my family grew up very poor in St. Paul. We grew up nothing, homeless here and there. Uh, Traveled to different states to try to get a better life, but just ended up homeless. So ended up back here with my mother and kind of ended out of my dad's spot, just struggling. And so after high school, I just hooped all through high school, played basketball, had some, pie in the sky idea that I was going to go do something with that. Didn't work out. I went to college for like a semester and just couldn't figure out what I was doing, taking out debt. I wasn't there on any type of scholarship, so I was just taking out a massive amount of debts to Division II college, just doing nothing. So
Sure.
yeah, kind of, I left college and was just jumping in and out of jobs, trying to figure out really what the path was for myself. And I knew that my mind goes 1,000 miles an hour, and I have to be doing something unique, different. And if it's not those two things, I gotta own it, like all of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just pushed me into that way. So yeah, it's just through poverty and watching my mother struggle. You want more in life, and there's only one way to. There's only a few ways to really do that in today's time because of the cost of living and how expensive things are. So you gotta get after it if you're not gonna go through college in a real way.
Yeah, for sure. One thing definitely that caught my eye on your social media is just the fact that you're documenting your story and you're putting yourself out there what so many people don't do, and that's the way the world's going now. People buy with people they like, know, and trust. So, um, being able to go out there and put yourself out there and you make yourself a little vulnerable when you do that types of things, but that's how you get to that next level, which I can definitely admire that you're going through those steps. So, um, you know, what was the big turning point to really tell your story on social media and get out there on that side of things?
Yeah, so man, I've done content since I was a kid. Literally. Like if I wasn't playing basketball, I was playing video games. And
Sure.
right in the time, I'm 27. So when I was like 15, like 11 through 15, that was right in the YouTube kind of blowing up era. So
Sure.
every kid at that age thought they were going to try to do something through that. So very early on was like editing my own little, gaming clips and, uh, just trying to figure out how to do it. I was streaming on Twitch in like 2013, just trying to figure it out. And I kind of always knew that once I had merit in a industry or in a space, telling stories is what I think I do best as an entrepreneur. It's what allows me a lot of opportunity. And so kind of turning the camera on really started last year, early January, when we closed on our cleaning business. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take this. My development deals are hyper subsidized, so you're walking on sharp glass talking about that.
Sure.
And so that's why it's a little bit less easy to just get on because I'm dealing with three things today that I'm like, man, I wish I could talk about that stuff, but I'm
Yeah,
having fun. So
for sure.
it's not as easy. With the cleaning business, it's mine, my mistakes, my effort. So
I feel
I
like
felt a little bit
it's super
more.
relatable too for a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's so many of those like kind of entry level home service based businesses out there. So your audience is very large on relatability side, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I had no plans. I had no plans of buying a cleaning business ever. I never even thought about it. My business partner that I do my real estate developments with, like we're just always looking for ways to. We played high school ball together. We're always looking for ways that we can partner, and uh, like one random just night in October, like 23. He just hit me up and was like, "Hey, this kid that lives close to us on a cleaning business is doing pretty well. You want to quit your job and go do this?" And he's like, "I know you don't like your job," because I was struggling in the corporate world. Just my mind just goes, man. I'm trying to
Yeah.
work and just sitting there all day was just horrible for me. So I said yes and took a
Sign me up.
mass pay cut to go do this life, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been amazing, man. I say, I've always been willing to do. I mean, sleeping on literal concrete, growing up. So I got no fear of doing the dirty work, and then I have no fear of, I provide for my family, my mother, my father, my little brother, my two children, my wife, and so I have no fear of, what anybody could kind of, as long because I love everybody. I kind of live with a good heart, so I don't really worry about what people could tell me on the internet, because
Yeah.
my
That's
family
nothing.
loves me,
That's nothing.
people love me. I've done,
Yep.
I'm proud. I'm proud enough to be like, man, you guys want to talk some shit? Let's talk some
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Let's have
Sure.
some fun with it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome, especially on the social media side, just that authenticity and really just cutting through the noise because, um, so many people just want, they always think everything is going to be this great thing and nobody wants to, have any shame in anything they do or share the mistakes they made because, that's bad. And then you get a bad look. And I think it's amazing to be able to just share what it's like every single day because there's great days, there's hard days and everything else in between. And that's really what people are looking for and are attracted to
oh
in
yeah.
those.
And I agree with the real estate development. It's, I tried a bit. Like we own a nonprofit where we teach like first time home buyers just how to purchase duplexes. My first like entrepreneurial investment was a house hack, a duplex. So was my business partners, and so like we kind of started with that. But you're really dealing with a just an information gap, and it's not our a lot of my peers choosing. They're just not privy to a lot of this information. It's never in their face for whatever the reason may be, and so it's a little bit less relatable. Like even this week we got approved for our seventh draw on our site. It's like 75,000 worth of like funding that's being redispersed to us for expenses we took on through this. Probably like last 5 weeks. That's not relatable.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so it's like dealing with the headaches of pre-lien notices and three liens from a terrible subcon. None of that stuff is. It's good stories and it's good experience for me as I'm trying to go be an actual developer. That's what I love the most of anything.
Yeah.
But the cleaning businesses, like you said, service-based business. Everybody can relate to trying to sell something that they're passionate about, and then
Yep.
maybe sometimes it doesn't go well. And then we can all relate to, oh my God, we want to do better. Have build and scale. But
Yep.
with that comes you got to trust,
Oh
and
yeah.
trusting in a service-based business is very personable, very personal. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Let's jump into the cleaning business a little bit. How many employees do you currently have in the business?
So we have 12. I have two admins and 10 cleaners. 11 if you count myself. Um, yeah, they're all 1090. We do 1099 contractors, excluding our admins. So
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. So you pretty much, and then talk a little bit about your marketing, how you're getting new traction. Obviously, do a lot of social media, but what's been your experience through that, in the short amount of time, and how have you been able to continue to keep those leads and contracts coming in?
Yeah, so lead management, marketing, sales is another thing I'm obsessed about because it's really what allows us to do anything in any of the
Yeah.
spaces that So I think with the cleaning business, I've been surprised by how uh, I would say how plentiful kind of the dollars we're spending have been in return. This month we spent $1,000 on Facebook ads. I've already booked 2,500. I had my admin send me this morning, and it's like the 16th.
Sure.
And when we were spending $300 on Facebook ads, I was booking around 1,000. So with the cleaning business, a lot of it is Facebook, and that's because a lot of the client base is on Facebook. You really have to look at who you're kind of selling and serving to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We get a lot of our business through Facebook neighborhood groups. And what that does is it creates funnels for us. Each month I leave a month with 30 leads. Only 8 book. I got 22 others that I'm doing outreach on every 15 to 30 days,
Yeah.
And then from that point, every, 3 to 6 months. So it puts them into a funnel that we've created with each of the businesses. I'm kind of excluding the real estate side because we're not funneling selling houses. That ring of that ring bill.
Yeah.
But especially with the cleaning business, it's big on just keeping a hand on the outreach and managing just the organization of the leads because it's a lot. Especially with the Facebook ads you've been doing. Just if we took the leads this year, we have like 190 leads just from Facebook Meta business ads. That's not people calling in saying I've seen your ad. That doesn't account for me posting in 11 Facebook neighborhood groups every Monday for the last year and a half. It doesn't count for just like the business that we have had. We purchased the business and it was around for 2.5 years prior to me. So, it's a lot of time for leads that we're going back to. So we leave no stone unturned because we got people to pay. Like we have real people who really rely on going into people's homes and cleaning. And so for me to be like, I'm not going to go message someone who had a one-time clean in February of last year. I need to, because if that's a booking, like I'm sending my cleaners to pay. So I'm very adamant and serious when it comes to the marketing. And then a lot of it is just relationship building. When we get in, like on the commercial side, it's really just about cold calling and then walk-ins. And I think having the niche of I'm very obsessed with floor plans. I love floor plans. And so being able to like I could walk a building once or twice and I have it memorized. And that's very helpful when you're walking through with like property managers.
Absolutely. No, every nook and cranny.
Yeah. And so that has helped a bit. And then I think as well, I'm big on selling not just my cleaning business, but myself, man, whatever I can offer them. So if I can get like with the daycare we just took on this last month, I offered to come in and shoot 2 ads with them. I shoot like film on an FX30, high level camera that I could get my hands on. And like, so I'll go and give them, 2 hours of my time over the next 6 months while they're paying my team, over, 4 figures a month to go in and clean. That's a way worthwhile, ad. And they're like, oh my God, we'll get an ad too. What? Well, that'd be over an hour. I'll get you 2 ads. What are you talking about? That's this contract. So I'm big on just whatever I need to do to get my team paid,
Yeah, that's awesome being able to add value like that and really offer your full package. That people see a lot of value in that, and they that they're there for more than just the transaction. You're there for the relationship. You're going in there obviously with a goal to do cleaning, but you're bringing so much more to the table, which not many people are doing these days, which is awesome to see.
100%.
How have you been able to manage all of those leads coming in? Do you have a CRM that kind of keeps everything organized, or what's kind of the workflow look like on those sides?
Yeah, so we have super transparent about our tech stack because I think anyone can start a cleaning business right now, and follow the TikTok, take the tech stack, take that the creatives, like let's run it, see how it works for you. It's not that difficult. So Facebook ads connect straight into our CRM is Booking Quala. It helps us manage like our bookings, cleaners, any leads or funnels that we have. It helps us do like mass outreach, so we can do email campaigns and SMS campaigns through that as well. We've messed around with a few others. Like in the past, we've used things like Go High Level, but to be honest, a lot of those businesses are in their infancy. And so with that, even Booking Quala is in its infancy. It's a young business. All of March, Booking Quala was down, which meant I didn't have a website. I was like, I was gonna throw a chair. I'm like, we're doing what? And they're 4 years, 5 years old, like you're kind of rolling the dice sometimes. But I know it's like what? But yeah, I think it's just a matter of kind of trial and error. Go high level, I think is definitely a little bit. That's the big one that they push in the cleaning industry. Go high level or house call pro. I just think it's really up to you. You're gonna be spending dollars somewhere because you need to manage it. If you're just gonna manage it on a spreadsheet or manage it on your phone, it's not gonna work. So
one of the biggest things with marketing is being able to track and manage all that things, all the dollars spent and money coming in, money going out. So sometimes
month too.
Oh yeah, like down to granulars.
It matters. I need to see if this is worth it. Like right now to the extent. So
I think another big takeaway too that we use, in the construction side, we do a lot of that is just, between answering your phone, which is kind of the simplest part, like you got to answer your phone to even and do that is the follow up. They say, you really don't get any traction, or over 60% is in that follow up 3 to 9. You're not closing necessarily that first day or that, right there on the spot. So continuing that follow up, like you said, email campaigns, whether they're seeing your ads, and then your outreach and all the things, is just so important. And like you said, it's once it gets set up, it's not that hard necessarily to manage, but you do need that system set up, to be able to track that and show that customer journey and where they've been along the way, because that's so important. Especially here after COVID, it seems that people are, really, they're just striving for some kind of a customer experience. It got to be so transactional when you couldn't meet in person, and everything was just went completely digital, and everything was just so transactional. People are just striving for that, true customer experience that they, can see you and talk to you and trust you and everything, especially in the home service industry.
Agreed.
So,
I think that's why my businesses are like doing well, because my kind of MO, even through all the like, I just call it internet marketing that we do, is to be in person. Like, people are seeing me in person everywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm there to shake their hands on that walkthrough. I'm there calling them after. Sometimes I'm doing 2, 3 walkthroughs in a day. I'm driving 250 miles literally. But like, my business isn't, 500K a year. Like, I gotta get us there. And every relationship matters. I'm a young guy, 27. I can drive and shake some hands. You know what I mean? So I'm big on it. Follow up. I'm adamant, and my team. I bring that to my team too. They're, if I can't, they are, and our phones are, even here as we're doing. My phone is going nuts. Like, it's going this thing, because that's how it needs to be going. Like, I need them reaching out, updating each other, working together, making sure that when our team gets into these homes, that it's easy. And if it's not easy, it's a reflection on us. It's everyone that's ever worked with me would tell you that I could have 0% fault in something, and I'm always going to take the majority of that blame, because there's always something I can learn from it. Every situation, even if especially if it's my business. If it's my business and something went wrong or didn't go the way that I expected to, uh, there's somewhere where it is at fault of mine, through communication, training, client communication, whatever it may be. So very outreach and making sure that we are hitting it come time we make that in like first interaction.
Yeah, that first impression is so important. That's where you make it or break it every single time. It's
Literally.
hard to dig yourself out of that hole once that first impression's been made.
Oh yeah. I read, to be honest, my cleaning business, we had one honestly just this week. So we had like a 3% bad clean rate. It's like the highest it's got this year on like 80 cleans. It's like too many cleans still going bad. Because
Sure.
basically what that means is the result is most of the time I'm just full refunding. Like, I'm not worried. Like, I'm not doing this for money.
Yeah.
$180, $250. What are we talking about here? We're not completing the job to the T that I'm offering it. That communication breakdown from me to the team, which isn't the client's fault. So we're just I think yesterday, she had sent an email saying that Airbnb clean, which I hate. We never take them, but we took it because she like called us 2 day notice. Was gonna pay a lot. Horse didn't really go the best, so I was like, "That was a refund." And come back. Like, sorry, you're right. I didn't even know what was wrong with it. I just literally said I'll refund you. And especially with this business, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys might understand. Like, on the construction side, like, we're getting payments are late, liens are filed, man, that's a real problem, bro. That means the lumber yards are shutting down. People are stop answering my phone.
Yeah.
So on this end of it, man, I just try to. It's never about the money, and it's always about, I don't want that person to like speak badly of the experience they had with us, because it don't mean nothing more than coming in and cleaning the home, which does mean a lot. But like, you know what I mean? I always tell my team, only to the dollar amount.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so.
So it sounds like you have built out quite the team and do a lot of delegating, but you're still pretty hands-on. Was that kind of the goal in the beginning, to kind of work more on the business instead of in the business?
Yeah, so when we bought the cleaning business, it was super automated. So we had bought it from a young guy who's like 22 at the time, in St. Paul. He was starting to come into his career and had a VA from the Philippines running it herself fully for the year of 23, and it did 140 with like 60% margins. And we're like, what? All right, I
This
just
is
go
real
grab this
money.
thing. I want to go grab this thing. And if I told you, I paid less than a down payment on a single family home for this business,
Oh man.
with no loan. Like we bought it in cash, 1-to-1 in the bank, and then, basically contracts on year to year basis. But, yeah, it was fully automated, and so when I kind of stepped into it, I'm just having conversations with a lady, and there's monkeys in the background.
The whole thing.
I'm like, oh hell no, you're not gonna answer no calls, and there's a monkey in the background. In the 5 months that I had that BA in the Philippines, like we fronted her monthly like amount twice because she was dealing with flooding, like literally to like pass my couch in my living room in her
Oh
home.
man.
And I'm like, yo, this is
Not
weird.
good.
Like, should we move you? This is crazy, bro. So not good, that's not the way that I really want to build a business, especially ever, to be honest. And so I kind of we ended up letting her go, ended up letting some of the cleaners go who were just like used to a different process, and I just super dove in. For like the first 6 months, I was doing a lot of the cleans because I really was really picky about who I was
Yep.
gonna trust to go in these homes.
Helps to understand what needs to get done too if you're the one doing it, and then you try to
Oh,
teach someone. It's hard to teach someone if you've never actually done it.
oh yeah, and the idea that I was like sprinting to clean stuff prior to purchasing these things, I'm not being. Oh, like my wife will tell you, she's like, "You're right." That's what I was on the cleaner, but she's like, "What?
Did I hear that right?
So she don't say that now. I just cleaned her bathroom the other day. She's like,
Solid.
"Wow, you picking up things." What you think?
You already know.
But yeah, no, man. I think I'll be honest. That was thing my wife made me laugh. So I kind of blanked on what the question even was. What was the question again?
It was did you know going into it you're gonna build out a team and be
Yeah.
more working on the business instead of in the business? I just know so
Yeah.
many business owners like myself and many that I talk to, they get stuck in the day-to-day grind and they forget the bigger picture. So that was kind of where I was
Yeah, we
going.
have to sell this. So
Yeah.
that's what, we bought it. I'm selling it.
Yeah.
Whether that's in 5 years, 20 years, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this thing is going to get sold, and the way nobody is going to take this business in the way I was operating it last July, having to be super hands on, accountable for everything,
Yeah.
especially with the amount of money that I like leave in the business. I don't really pay myself. I haven't paid myself since October of last year. And, we had an 18K month, a 10K, a 14K. We're doing 15K this month. And I just don't pay myself at all because I'm like, I reinvest,
Reinvest,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I knew I was going to need a lot of cleaners. I was going to need a local team, at least one person local who could be me while I'm on other things. And then it kind of fell into place, but I needed somebody to help me hold the cleaners accountable. And so that's what kind of started. I didn't really go in, like we weren't big on the two admin idea ever. It just kind of happened because the admin we have that works with the cleaners, she actually helped us on our affordable housing developments. She's an older lady, retired, spent the most of her life in Arizona, retired down to Mexico, and she's just chilling in front of an ocean. And so she has helped us keep a lot of our entrepreneurial life intact. And
Sure.
so we brought her on, and I told her I need help. They're kind of taking advantage of me. I'm way too nice. And so she started helping me lay the law down with, our SOP, actually
Sure.
implementing.
Keeping everybody accountable.
Yeah. And then it quickly turned to, okay, this phone is not stopping ringing. And like, I do have responsibilities outside of my cleaning business to where I personally cannot pick up the phone
Every single time. Yeah.
every single time. But we have to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like even boxing classes to sell these cleans. And I'm like, kind of, we're a rock and a hard place here. And so I got pretty lucky. I found an admin in Hudson, Wisconsin. And was able to bring her on. Uh, and yeah, she was doing great. She helped me with sales, helped me with commercial like onboarding. We did a really big onboarding in June. And she was there for a lot of it. Um, And so that's kind of just happened. It's expensive, it's not so expensive that it's like, like business crippling. But there's a decision that's being made to have these processes, you know what I mean? Like,
there's a bigger
so
picture here. The eyes are
100%.
set down the road, and is
And
it?
if I'm selling it, like I said, it's got to be fluid. You know what I mean? It's got to be almost autonomous. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be Michael. So
What
it's
I've
cool that
always heard is, it's one thing to have the business run, but there's two questions you have to ask: can the business run without you, and can the business grow without you? If you got those two things under control, then you are the business owner and not the business operator.
Yeah. And today I feel way more capable of that than a year ago. A year ago I was like, man, we went into August doing uh we took on like 2 college full apartment turns. We did like 50 units in 14 days with like
Man.
5 cleaners. It was like 12 hours a day. Just
Right.
not gonna say good money was made, but oh my god, I left that month like, nope. Okay.
Can't do that.
We're about to turn this around right now. So I just, I know how to build teams. I've done it with our other businesses, and I think you have to know when it needs that coddling, and then when it's time to like, okay, like this also has to operate without me. Like you said, you can't just hold this thing forever. If it was doing 1 million or something, maybe I'm coddling it more, but this is not the reality at sub 200,000 a year. So we gotta kind of put processes in place so that this thing can grow on its own and have the energy that I kind of have without being there. That's my biggest focus. So
Sure. The idea of building it to sell, where did you get that initial idea? Was there kind of someone that a mentor or someone that you kind of looked up to that kind of you got this idea and wanted to build these multiple businesses that you have?
No, man. Honestly, the only mentor I genuinely had, I didn't have a lot of like male figures growing up. I have like 6 Gary V books, and that's not even being like cliche. But like growing up, there wasn't anything locally in the east side of St. Paul. And there's really only YouTube. And very quickly I stopped watching gaming and started watching like how do I help my family, man? Like Christmases suck. Like we gotta change this. And so just understanding that, that's kind of what started the entrepreneurial mindset. But in terms of like buying, build, and sell, it's just understand that you're gonna have to. If I'm not going to college, if I'm not getting anything placed on my lap, man, I got to get in the mud. I got to build something that changes my people's lives, And then I gotta, if I'm old and can sell it, or if I'm young and I did it great and can sell it, that's when I'll kind of reap the benefits. But to be honest, me and my partner say like, I'll never reap the benefits. I'm gonna do this until I die. Sadly, I'm sick. So it's more so about like, everything that I'm almost 30. I can't waste any time. Like I tell my wife all the time, if I hit 30 and it's not done, I'm gonna be on Payne Avenue shaking it. That's what I mean. I'm gonna be out there. Like, there's no playing games here, man. So it's either got to get to like, where we're pulling a beautiful amount of money. And we have a great, peer group around us who also own cleaning businesses doing 7 figures a year. So I'm doing 6 figures a month, which is like unbelievable, all residential cleans. I'm like, and here I am doing 10K in a month. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is nothing. We got 7 cleans on Friday, which is a great day for us. And I told my admins this morning, I need 7 every day. And then I'll be maybe happy, but I'll never be happy. It's just, that's all you can do. I don't know how else to get successful in today's times, Everyone I look around that is not in some type of sport or some type of artist way, they're building businesses and it's not luck, man. There's some luck that happens, because you're trying every day. And so you need decisions to go your way. But, I don't look at that, those type of situations as luck. I look at that as like, I'm showing up.
You've tried, I've done it.
Yeah,
I think it's a really cool concept. You're making me feel a little old. I mean, I'm 33, so, but no, I think it's really cool. Just that idea of that entrepreneurial spirit of building it to sell it. Because at the end of the day, whether you sell it or not, if you build a business to sell it, then you are a business owner, right? Because that means you're not operating it, you're not doing it. It's actually has value. So many businesses are built around the owner. The owner is selling, the owner is cleaning, in the field, all those things. And if you take that owner away, then you really don't have anything. You got the tools and the equipment, but it really is worth, fractions of what a business is worth. So you're definitely on the right path there. With those things, I went to a conference. LB Capital, if I would recommend looking them up. They're more in the roofing space, but definitely same type of ideas. He does all sorts of different things. He had a popcorn business, for crying out loud. Same type of idea though, and it's all kind of building the businesses the right way, so they can operate, and all the things. So just love to hear that, and gets me really excited, honestly, because that's what we're all trying to do here, and the same type of things.
It's not a negative. I mean, sometimes people will say that it's a negative to do that. And it doesn't also mean my business isn't personable. If you call me right now, well, give me maybe 20 minutes, half hour, but like you're gonna, I mean, it's the highest level customer service you can get because I want it to grow like with all my soul. You know what I mean? So yeah, no.
Have you had any sort of mentorship or somebody you look up to over the years to really kind of help, not necessarily pave the way, but help guide you in some direction?
Yeah, I was so the only person that I would say as outside of Mr. Gary V, is my business partner, honestly. He got a petroleum engineering degree. When I was poking at him to mess up and mess off in high school, this dude was like, "You need to leave me alone." Like, look at me dead. Yeah, bro. I'm like, you gonna mess with me at basketball practice, huh? Like, no, he was locked in, man. And he went down to Houston, and when the world shut down and everything was just, horrible in March of 2020, him and I literally it's not a joke. We're on Apex Legends figuring out how to develop real estate, man. And he ended up purchasing a duplex and owner occupied it. We were able to purchase the floor plan from the builder, able to like crowdfund some money from Facebook groups. Literally, we spent March of 2020. We sent out 1,000+ messages to people. Anytime if you were in Rookie Real Estate Podcast and you posted a deal in March, I was posting my deal in your deal's comments. Hunting, bro. I was not giving it up. And it has changed my life. It's changed, it changed my business partner's life in a real way. It's changed my life because it allowed me to come home with real development experience and actually develop at home and be able to partner with city officials and go get the politicians to feel like they can support our organization to develop. But I would say him, man, because he's the one who keeps me accountable to, even what's next. Like there's massive, like, oh man, there's massive things. If I can fast forward to 35 and even one thing goes right, like I will be the happiest man on this earth. You know what I mean? And so it's like that level of like I won't mess this up for him, and he's gonna make sure that if I get bored, we got the next thing lined up. And that's literally what it is. He's great at, like, he knows me. There's been a few times where I've got offered some jobs that were pretty nice in the last year. And he's like, dude, you're going to be 2 weeks in. You're going to be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I am, man.
Yeah.
So I would say him, same age as me. We started golfing together. Like we are almost crashing into the ponds on the golf courses in St. Paul together. So probably my business partner Donovan. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely got to surround yourself with the right people, and whether that's like-minded people, no different than how Blake and I started this podcast, very similar to that. And then even furthermore, and I'll ask you, do you do any kind of coaching groups or anything like that to kind of surround yourself with other people, or even listen to other podcasts that people that you get there?
Yeah. So I'm super big on podcasts. So there's a podcast in particular I listen to where basically is like people's like big breaks. Like it's literally all they talk to is people and their big breaks. Oh, I'm really doing a disservice. I'm doing this such a disservice. But so I'm a big podcast consumer. If I'm like I'm driving anywhere, like I'm not big on, honestly, even if I'm working out, like I listen to podcasts. I box a lot, so like I'm listening to the podcast in the studio. Like people think it's kind of weird at my gym. Like I'm just big on just always never know what, because I don't know what has gotten me to here is like we just got to be open to learning and to opportunities and to new lessons. And so I just never want to stop doing that because I don't know where that next thing could be. You know what I mean? I never thought cleaning business. I never really, I had aspirations to like be in combat, you know what I mean? But I never like thought I'd be like filming with Rudy Gobert, Gable Stevenson, like holding mitts for the Minnesota Timberwolves, like I know on Target Field, like that's cool stuff. You know, I never really thought that stuff would happen, and so I just try to stay super open, man. Consume as much info as possible, within reason, within my spaces. You know, that's one thing I'm really good at. I have blinders on, and to some people, that's not like the most in thing for them because they want me to be a little bit more tuned into like what's going on, maybe. But the reality is, if it's not real estate, if it's not home service businesses, if it's not boxing or my family, in terms of like it, and not even to be rude, like, and of course not to mean I don't have conversations outside of those things because I'm a super like fun, outgoing guy, you know. But like in terms of me reaching out for information, that is it. That's it. You know, I'm not. I know nothing about, and that's my little brother is in his third year at University of Northwestern for political science, and I'm double majoring in political science and history. He's a very religious and very political person. 360 from me. Like, I am literally like, what's the next business process? What are we putting in SOP? You know what I mean? That's all I'm worried about. What can I learn from you guys? What are you guys doing with your subs and your, staffers to, keep them okay through slow seasons and things like that? There's lessons in that from every business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And more businesses are alike than they aren't. And when you actually look at them, obviously painting a house and cleaning a house and building a house are all different services, but how you get from point A to point B is pretty much cookie cutter across all of them. So
I agree.
being able to have an open mind and take that all in is definitely that's a huge trait, honestly.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's just come from the volatility. I don't know where nothing's coming from, man. You know what I mean? Like even to the name of my development company, it's one goal, one dream, financial freedom. Like that's a 21-year-old made that. You know what I mean? Like, bro, but I'm gonna ride it out. You know what I mean? Because it just I went to sleep, woke up with that name, started the Facebook group at 1,000 people, turned it into, a small, like emerging developer course, which then got us 2 sites. Now we're developing multiple sites up here. It's like, it's just a ball that you just, I pray I get a few more of those. You know what I mean? Like that's the, that's the thing I hope. So,
Well, that's awesome. And just being a constant learner and just, at the end of the day, I think there's so much noise out there, right? Like people get caught up in scrolling on the socials and that can be good if you're staying in your lane, like you talked about, right? Like you can learn so much from that, but so many times you don't, and there's just so much other noise that you don't, zero in and focus on your craft truly and learn and be the very best that you can be. That's such a huge takeaway, and surrounding yourself with people that will continue to push you, because it's easy to get lax based on your, who you even hang out with, whether it's your friends. And again, not being disrespectful, but I'm sure you've dealt with people that you maybe used to hang out with, you don't hang out with anymore. And it's not that they're maybe a bad person, but you just have different goals, different dreams in life, and the only way you're going to get there is to, just not hang out with them anymore. And again, it's not being rude necessarily. It's just kind of just the way it has to go for you to kind of get to that next level and truly, get the best out of yourself. Has been a huge takeaway. So.
yeah. I'll quickly touch on, the hardest thing about TikTok, I know this is random, but like has been so I have a couple of peers who have pretty sizable TikToks and they're on me about like you have to actually use the app and like watch people and like interact. And so I know that sounds like, oh, you gotta actually use the app, but genuinely like I would post, get off. And so now like I have to like I'm trying to like engage and like interact and comment meaningful comments. I'm not lying. That's the hardest thing about some of my times right now is like because if you want to get the algorithm kind of moving, you have to engage on their platform, which completely is fair and makes sense. If I own TikTok, like I want you on my platform. And so I'm like, oh, damn it, excuse my language, but what so I'm like half dipping my toe in this noise. And so now I'll have on my algorithm like, oh man, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm seeing here, bro. This is funny. Literally, so, but off that point, that's the hardest thing about TikTok right now.
For sure. Well, we're getting to the end of the episode here. I just want to thank you again, Michael, for joining us here for the 23rd episode, talking a little bit insight on the multiple businesses you've built and the one you've purchased, and true that true like grind and building that American dream from some hard times early on, and really learning what it's like to have maybe nothing and giving you that extra fight. That's awesome to hear that's out there, and you're able to fight through those hard times and look at the positives and fight to live another day. So I appreciate you hopping on and telling your story, and I hope people see this and learn from this, and use it as motivation to go out there and kick the day's butt, because that's what we need. And
especially you're young. You got a lot of years.
Yep.
You are. I wish I would have found that spirit when I was 20, well, even younger. But even at 27, I went through that same thing. And so just keep doing what you're doing. I think it's amazing, and you will definitely reap the benefits. I think sooner than you realize. It's just it's staying consistent. So
for sure. And one more thing before we hop off here, do you have any sort of quote or motivational thing you wake up to, or something that gets you excited about the day?
It's an image, and I'm gonna half show it, and you're gonna be like, "This guy's okay." This is an image of the like de-extinct dire wolf. Do you have any idea about this whole thing? I'm not gonna try to. Basically, they brought back dire wolves. They're like 10,000 years old. But the point of why I have that thing on my photo is because every day I wake up and I don't feel that. Like, I'll be real. I don't feel like, some days I'm like, man, a lot of days I'm like, I cannot wait to be there. Like, because I've been going 100 hours a week for 10 years, literally. No over exaggeration there. And I look at that thing even now, and like right now I'm like, and I'm hunting, dude. Like, I literally am hunting. Like, I'm whatever this thing is, dude, a de-extinct wolf, bro. Like, I'm coming from 10,000 years, bro, of extinction to eat everything. I know that sounds extreme, but that's kind of the motivation I have to give myself to go out and just give that energy. You know what I mean? Because it's difficult, man. So whether it's a photo or quote, I'm big on like Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali. Like, I watch Muhammad Ali, and I'm like when he's walking around, I know I'm being wordy, but he's like, "I'm a bad man. I know you counted me out. I know you suckers done counted me out." Yeah, that gives me goosebumps now, man, because I am a bad man, dude. I'm a bad man for my family. I love my family. I love, my team, and I'm gonna do anything I can to get after it. So I just, whatever, correlates with your life, man, stick to it. Don't let nobody take you off of it, because I literally will be in public and I got a wolf. My wife's like, "Why don't you got our daughter?" I'm like, "Hunt, babe."
We're hunting. We're feeding the family.
Yeah, right. That's where I'll end it. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. I love the name of the podcast. I don't think I'd be able to do this in any other place on this earth. And I'm not but there is one thing I'm kind of big on, and it's like, I live here, and man, I'm thankful that I'm able to, like, dude, look at the life that we could have, developing realist, like, where can you do just whatever you want, man? Like, I try to tell people that, like, I literally, like, not in like a selfish way, like, you want to be this, you want to be that, man. What a place to do it. So I love it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, jumping on and telling your story. We definitely learned some things from your story, so I appreciate that. And and end it off with today's a good day for a good day.
Yes, sir. Take care.